Hello everyone, it's Dr. Cynthia J. Hickman, your proactive caregiver advocate. Our topic today is caregiver compensation requires a living wage. We are approaching National Caregiver Month. November has been set aside to celebrate caregivers here, there, and everywhere. There are over 53 million Americans who are unpaid caregivers to family, friends, and neighbors. I was on the unpaid caregiving side. While on that other side, I have a real passion for paid caregivers because their contributions are undervalued as it relates to wages, at least in my opinion. The purpose of celebrating caregivers is to provide responsiveness of caregiving concerns, educate caregivers, formal and informal, about self-discovery, and magnify support that will decrease stress and burnout in the caregiver role. The overarching theme, however, is that we value our caregivers. It is no secret that caregivers are my number one fans. Their unselfishness and dedication are not based on monetary gain. Let me say that again. Their unselfishness and commitment are not based on monetary gain. We know that informal or formal caregiver compensation has a lot to be desired. Every time I research the compensation for formal caregivers, it saddens me to no end. What is a reasonable rate for providing care? For informal caregivers, what is fair compensation for family members who perform the essential duties? Informal caregivers take care of their loved ones, and while doing so, they require informational guides for getting support from organizations and from the community. For formal caregivers, most of the compensation is based on market value. The overarching question becomes, is the compensation scale based on a living wage or a substandard wage? There's two thoughts about compensation wages. A living wage is defined as the minimum income necessary for basic needs. The goal of a living wage is to allow a worker to afford their basic needs, but decent standards of living without the use of government subsidies. The survival wage refers to a minimum biological need. Most is based on food, housing, and clothing. Typically, transportation is not on that list. Some forms of public transportation most often is used because car notes and car insurance is very expensive. So as we approach the month to recognize caregivers, do something special for them if you know one. They work hard, and the current pay scale will never reflect their hard work and dedication for the things that they do. While we continue to fight for wage increases across the globe, I would love to hear your comments on how one prioritizes their life and living on a $7.25 minimum wage. As your proactive caregiver advocate, know that caring for a loved one or care recipient is a labor of love. Compassion is never about the money, but for sure, a living wage and compensation for informal caregivers would be wonderful. Most in society want to support themselves and their families with a few extras along the way. Sometimes the extras are far and in between. That's where we come in. May I ask you to love on a caregiver next month? Please and thank you. Be safe, be well, and bye for now.